All right. All right, it's 11:32. We'll get started and maybe some of our friends might just be joining. So good morning, everybody. Welcome once again to the Parent Hour. I request everybody, because we're a large group, just request you to stay on mute so that we're not disturbing, with the background noise, unless you have a question and you need to unmute and ask. Second, I want to say that there might be a lot of questions that you have on your mind, and we may not be able to answer every question in the next 1 hour. So what I want you to know is that this is the beginning of the dialogue that we want to start. We'll continue to meet every week for an hour on Sundays at this time. And so you can feel free to come back and ask those questions. Outside of that, of course, you can reach out to us one-on-one as well. So don't, I just want to say that don't feel anxious. Don't feel like your question didn't get asked and, the hour got over. We understand that, this is a journey and it's an ongoing conversation. The second thing I want to share is that we'll have time for Q&A at the end, but you can continue to put your questions in the chat. I'm joined by my colleagues Eklavya and Vishnu, and they will continue to respond in the chat as well. However, we'll come to Q&A towards the end, but do keep putting your questions in the chat. And the last but the biggest thing is that we want you to know that we're partners with you in this journey and your child's journey as they try to figure out and navigate this gifted journey. So just know that we're on your side and we're trying to work this with you. However, if we're not able to answer every question today, we are around and reachable. So please continue to reach out to us. With that, I'm going to get started. I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Sapna. I am the Director for Gifted Programs at GenWise. My role, I focus on designing the programs that children attend, on ensuring that those are high quality and they meet the academic as well as other needs of your children. My background is in education. So my first career was in physical therapy. I studied to be a physiotherapist, worked as an outpatient therapist with athletes in New York City for about 7 to 8 years before I came back to India to become a teacher. I started my journey as a teacher with Teach for India, where I taught elementary students. And for the 5-6 years that I worked with Teach for India, I continued to do multiple different roles, from being a teacher to being a trainer for the new teachers, and then eventually being a trainer for the teachers, the trainers themselves. And after, spending 5 or 6 years in Teach for India, I felt deeply connected and passionate about education. So I took some time off to get a master's in education. I went to Harvard University, got a master's in education, continued working at Harvard for the next 3 years as a research fellow at the Engineering School of Harvard. I developed curriculum for some of the robotics programs to bring some of these cutting edge research programs to students in middle and high school across India and the US. And after I came back, that is in 2021, about right after COVID, I joined a school here in India as their director of teaching and learning through the COVID years. And I think over all of these years, or a decade or more that I have spent in education, what I have come to understand is I believe deeply in creating deeper learning experiences for children, experiences where they can, learn for the joy of learning. They are challenged at the level that they are at. And that is what brings me to GenWise, because this is an opportunity to really give children learning experiences that are beyond just the curriculum at school. So what our time together is going to look like. We'll start by briefly discussing the idea of gifted, right? All of your children have qualified through their medal winners through the Asset Talent Search, which is a above level test. So what does it mean? What do we mean by gifted? What are the unique needs of gifted children, and why participate in gifted program? Again, a lot of you have asked these questions through the form that you filled out. Then we'll deep dive into the GenWise gifted program. This is a residential program in Manipal, India. So we'll start high level again, get an overview of what the program is. Again, why should children attend this program, or how will it benefit children if they attend this program? We'll hear from one of the past students' parents, Mr. Chirag Bontra, who's very graciously agreed to join us today and share his journey, in navigating sort of this journey for his own child. And then we'll deep dive a little bit more into the summer program. So what are the programs available, the types of courses, our mentors, other details, etc., day in the program. So we'll go through some of those details, and eventually we'll open it up for questions, as I said, but you don't have to wait. You can keep putting your questions in the chat, and my colleagues Eklavya and Vishnu will be responding to those as well. So with that, let's get started. What does it mean to be gifted, or what does giftedness mean? So we believe all children are gifted. They all have some gift. It's about identifying what is it that they are gifted with, right? What are these special abilities that every child has? In case of your children specifically, they have been identified as intellectually gifted through the Asset Talent Search Test, and they are sort of the top 1 to 5% in those talent domains that they gave the exam for, that is English, math, and science. You probably would have already noticed that your child is either, in the top 5 in the class, they learn really fast, they enjoy learning. So you would have seen this anyway with your child. And as I said, the Asset Talent Search Test is a scientifically designed test. It is an above-level test. It's an invite-only test for students who perform exceptionally well on the level 1 or the Asset test. And it helps discover the hidden academic potential of your children. So through the exams and school performance, you would have noticed that your child is always in the top 5, doing probably really well in academics. But where do they stand in terms of the larger population of the country and across different countries where this test is taken? And what are these special abilities that they have? So the Asset Talent Search Test helps putting that into perspective. It is recognized by multiple gifted programs across different countries. It's recognized by the GenWise gifted program here in India. And outside of that, it's recognized by, the Johns Hopkins University, the Center for Talented Youth over there, the Center for Talent Development at Northwestern, the Academic Talent Development Program at UC Berkeley, the Gary program at Purdue University, and the Summer Institute for Gifted Students. You would have already seen that through the asset result in terms of what your child has qualified for. And moving from so we know that our children are gifted, your children are gifted academically, intellectually, they're gifted through this performance on the test. Now, what does it mean converting this gift into achievement? I'll take a very simple example. That's the example I use to kind of explain it to myself as well, which is, let's think about some of these, extremely talented and gifted athletes or musicians or artists, right? Like think about Sachin Tendulkar, think about Virat Kohli, think about like A.R. Rahman. So many of these very talented and gifted folks, they all had ability, but that is only one half of the story. The other half is the training, the coaching, the mentoring that they received, right? If Sachin Tendulkar had not received the coaching that he received or the support he received over the years, he wouldn't be where he was. He wouldn't be one of the best cricketers in the world. Similar for so many other athletes, musicians, artists. So talent is only one half of the story. And what we believe is talent is it's not a constant that, I have it so I can be talented all my life. Talent is the beginning of the journey, and then the rest of the journey is about how do you continue to nurture this talent in the child, and to convert that into achievement, right? And what that means is there are what would you need to nurture somebody's talent? One is you need opportunity at the right level to nurture that gift or that talent that they have. And in addition to that, they're still young and they're still children. So the psychosocial or the social emotional skills also need to be developed, because once they're talented, there is often a lot of pressure in terms of expectation from them as well. So that social emotional maturity is also equally important. So as you can see from this sort of diagram on my screen, that in order to convert this talent or ability into achievement, what children need is opportunity to nurture that talent, and they need support with psychosocial skills or opportunity to develop those psychosocial skills as well. And that is where sort of the gifted programs come into place. I take a moment to kind of talk about the needs of gifted students or students like your children. Um, you probably already seen that they do exceptionally well in school in their class. But what happens is, unfortunately, in our country, we don't have a parallel curriculum or an opportunity to give them advanced opportunities if they can handle it. So many of your children can probably handle a higher intellectual challenge than what they are receiving right now. So they sometimes feel they're not sufficiently challenged in school, which limits their development, which can also then come out as like boredom or disruption, because it's like, they finish their work really early, they finish it fast, they know how to do it. And so like, what next? So either they kind of become disruptive, or they're bored, they don't find it as challenging and as exciting as they can be. There are not, as I said, there aren't enough opportunities to nurture that talent and to nurture those interests. There aren't enough peer groups or communities where they can they can sort of build connections and socialize with people who are of the same intellectual abilities as them. So in class or in school, they're already ahead, but how can they also get an opportunity to be amongst peer groups that are similarly able? The other sort of challenges are more psychosocial in nature. So as I said, some kids know that they are really high performing, that they are gifted, and sometimes that they end up putting a lot of pressure on themselves, because they want to always be gifted, they want to always stand first, they want to always do it really well. And so in that way, they might end up putting a lot of pressure on themselves for this perfectionism to always come first, or to always do well, or to always excel. There can also be the other end of that challenge, that can cause anxiety to them or make them feel stressed out, because they're constantly putting so much pressure on themselves. Sometimes what happens is that the peer group relationships might be they might not be the way they want it, because people might be like, oh, you're too smart, you're the teacher's pet, and so they feel left out. And so sometimes they try to hide that giftedness because they want to feel a sense of belonging amongst their peer group. This is not, all of it is not true for every child. You might see some aspects of this in certain situations. And so these are some of the needs of gifted students that have been identified across studying gifted students across the world. Now, as I was saying earlier, that unfortunately we don't have the opportunity to provide a parallel nurturing no, we don't have those nurturing opportunities within the school system or the curriculum. Everybody learns the same curriculum at the same time. But as we know from your child's performance on the test, they can actually be challenged. They are already 1 or 2 levels above the current curriculum being taught. So they can be challenged further to advance their development. And that is why education initiatives, that is the organization that conducts the asset talent search test, GenWise, that conducts the nurturing programs, Northwestern Center for Development, that is again an institute that does testing as well as nurturing, and Agastya Foundation that works a lot with children from rural background. These 4 came together to set up what is called Gifted India. Gifted India is essentially a forum dedicated to students, families, educators, to talk about and to figure out how can we meet the needs of our gifted students, some of our best and most talented creative minds in the country. And so we came together to form this, and we've continued to work on this and reach out to parents through this forum. And so as I said, the test or what the asset talent search test is one half of the journey, right? Where you identify that, yes, your child is talented. Now, the question is what next, or the nurturing. And as I said, what is equally important is the nurturing and the nurturing opportunities in order to convert that talent into achievement. And so what I'm going to do is sort of take a little bit of a deep dive into the GenWise gifted program, which is the gifted program that happens in Manipal. Your child has probably qualified for more than one gifted program. We're going to use this as, to understand why gifted programs, like how do kids benefit from attending gifted programs. So we'll start by watching a short clip from the last gifted program, which was in May. And then I'm going to invite Mr. Chirag Bontra, whose son Aditya Bontra has also gifted and has been attending nurturing programs with GenWise over the last year or more than that. So we'll talk to him and we'll hear him as a parent, how did he navigate this journey?
When I got my ATS results, I vividly remember my grandmother being there, and she was very supportive of it. Although I hadn't thought about the results too much before that because I didn't want to be disappointed when I got them, I realized that they were actually quite good because I got Gold Scholar, and I was very proud of myself, especially because my parents and my entire family was very supportive of me. Seeing the opportunities it brought, I was very excited as well.
My teacher, Prabhu sir, he's absolutely amazing because he treats physics like it's something fun to enjoy and like a game. So every day when we come to class, we play with physics, we learn how to do experiments, learn about theories, and then we go back knowing a lot more and even knowing how to do a lot more in terms of experiment and how to test theories and things like that.
He gets a chance to interact with people of his own mind length, wavelength जो बोलते हैं ना, when you go to a normal class in school, सारे बच्चे सब तरह के बच्चे आते हैं, कुछ स्पोर्ट्स में अच्छे होते हैं, कुछ एकेडमिक्स में अच्छे होते हैं, और स्कूल जब उसे टीच करती है तो जस्ट दे हैव टू बी नॉर्मल जनरल लेवल पे बात कर सकते हैं. वो बहुत हाई लेवल भी बात नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन यहाँ पे दे कैन गो बियॉन्ड द कोर्स.
Skills have improved a lot, and I have managed my frustration, my stress, my anger issues. Everything has been under control since I came here, and my patience levels have increased a lot. Like after taking up the forensics course, teamwork has been a key part to solving our cases, the crimes that we have to solve, and I feel like I learned a lot about different moral skills.
एक छोटा सा और बात बताता हूँ. Like when he was here and I was with my friends and we were just having a chat and Adi called, I was outside. तो मैंने बताया उनको कि he has gone to the summer program. So I also put Adi on speaker and I told them कोई अंकल से बात करो वगैरह. And Adi was very happy and excited. तो जैसे फ़ोन का यार बोला कि यार आवाज़ में ही लग रहा है कि उसमें बहुत चेंज आ गया. Adi used to be a little bit reserved child. सोशल इंटरेक्शन में आई थिंक जो इस लेवल के प्रोग्राम आते हैं, नॉर्मली सोशल इंटरेक्शन में द चाइल्ड्स आर लिटिल बिट रिजर्व.
First day when I spoke to her, I think I was the most relieved because the smile on her face was unbelievable. Like I was waiting for her to just speak to me at 9. But she was so relaxed, so calm, and it just, her face told me the story that she's enjoyed every moment from the time she's entered the campus.
The icing on the cake is the last night when we spoke with her, which was her last day, and she refuses to come back.
Yeah.
So that speaks volumes about the kind of care and the way the kids are taken care of over here.
These 3 weeks have arguably been some of the best weeks of my life. It's just the people I've met, the friendships I've created, the bonds I have with them now are just something truly special which can't really be replicated anywhere else.
Okay. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I hope that gave like a good overview of what the residential or the gifted program is. And for more details, I'm going to invite Mr. Chirag Bontra, who's parent of Aditya Bontra, to share. Thank you, sir. I'm going to just give me a second and I will put a pin so that, okay. If you can, it'll be great if you can, start your video. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, sir. And I love if you can start by just sharing a little bit, going back in time, like last year maybe, or even a little bit before that, when you heard about Aditya, qualifying for the ATS, and then sort of as a parent, as you navigated this journey of gifted program, why is this needed, or which program, they may have been multiple options. So take us back in time, and if you can think out loud for other parents, that'll be lovely.
Hi Sapna, and hi everybody else. A child being gifted, it's such a good feeling. Special. It's a thing that all parents always wish for. And in fact, I think every parent sees their kid as special or gifted in one way or the other. But just as the video, some parent pointed out that, and Sapna also pointed out that there are some kids who do better than the rest of their class or rest of their peers. They in various ways. So Aditya also used to be such a kid, not just in class, but otherwise, when we used to have conversations, other people used to have conversations, my friends used to have conversations. There are some of my friends who are very notorious in a lot of ways, and उन लोग कहते थे कि यार ये तेरा बच्चा है ना, इसको संभाल के रखना, बहुत dangerous है. Dangerous because he used to have ideas and thoughts that one usually doesn't encounter in that age group. So yeah, we were aware, or we were excited about the thought that he might be a bit different, positively, than the others. But as Sapna also rightly pointed out, that there still are not many opportunities or many avenues where we could have sent him to, or given him the sort of exposure that might help him nurture his giftedness. So asset, we actually did not really know when it started out. We did not really know what it is going to lead to. It was just an opportunity. It's an examination that the school people recommended, and that you might go. And well, he did it, and he got qualified. He came in the top 2% and stuff like that. So we were all very happy about it. And when we heard about the GenWise program, we went through the website, and we saw some videos. We were happy. We did not have too many expectations, to be honest. We were just happy that he might be able to be with the sort of people that he thinks he needs to be with. So at school, he just as one of your slides showed, that he at some point of time felt as a misfit. As if he did not belong there, as if the people around him did not either understand him, or he was basically a misfit. Yes, that's what he felt, and because of that, he was not able to interact very deeply socially. He had a very limited number of friends, and he had those issues. Yes. So we came to know about GenWise, and we went through the various courses that were offered. Aditya had opted for I do not
Engineering
exactly
design. Engineering design.
engineering design using bicycles.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. I myself am an engineer, and engineering has always been a, I always think that our engineers are the best. So yes, so he went. Before that, I have to say it was 2 long years before he could actually get into. After he was qualified, the first year he was underage or something like that. The next year COVID hit, and so 2 years it was very bad. In fact, here I would like to put in, COVID time was especially bad for him because I have 2 kids. Aditya has an elder brother. So the elder brother has a lot of friends. He already had a lot of friends. So while even during COVID, he had a lot of interaction with his friends and all. Aditya, because he was this reserved kid, did not have too many friends to interact with during COVID too. So COVID was a very difficult time for him to, it was not easy. So as soon as COVID got over and GenWise offered the program, we jumped for it, and Aditya took the opportunity. I myself had gone to Manipal to drop him, and I have to say I was very impressed by the facilities that were provided, the rooms, the place itself. I myself have done engineering from a place very close to Manipal. So Manipal has been, it brings back nostalgia also.
Yeah.
So Manipal is a fantastic place, especially for people who want to explore themselves on different levels. In general also, yes.
Yeah.
So yes, Manipal is beautiful. And especially the campus that the kids were put into was very good. I was impressed. But I did not send Aditya with what I would say, and I think it helped. I did not send Aditya there with any expectations. I did not expect him to have some wow ideas about engineering or about design or whatever. I just wanted him to have an opportunity where he could be in a space which is different from what the schools could offer. And I guess that worked the best. The moment he went there, within a couple of days when we were talking, he was extremely happy. He's like, "Hey, Dad, I'm finally with guys like me, mine own. These people are awesome."
Yeah.
And within 2 to 3 days, by the end of the week, he knew the names of all the people around Ekalavya and the whole group, Shakti, so many people. I do not remember all of their names, but yes, he had an amazing time. And
So
am I just ranting on?
No, this is very, very helpful as a parent, just how you were thinking as a parent. And so, Aditya has come multiple times. He came to the summer program, he came to the winter program, he is coming for the May 2023 summer program.
He wants to stay there with you guys. He doesn't want to come back home.
That is, that's we can't get a bigger testimonial than that. Tell me, how have you seen this impact Aditya? In what way have you seen this impact Aditya?
Yes. So as I said, COVID was a bad time, and he got really reserved. We were a bit apprehensive how exactly to handle him. But 3 weeks in GenWise, oh wow! I mean, it literally transformed his energy completely. After 3 weeks, when he came back home, he had an energy that we had not seen in him since a very long time. The energy, the want to talk about his own experience, the confidence to be able to speak again about anything that he had in mind, rather not thinking कि अरे सामने वाला क्या सोचेगा पता नहीं, nothing of that sort. The confidence that was instilled in him was amazing. And it is interesting to say that it was confidence. It was not overconfidence. It was not arrogance. It was not कि हाँ I'm better than the rest or whatever. No, not at all. He in fact, I think is now not. I think I know for sure he's able to interact a lot better with almost everybody. Even kids, even initially he was like, yo, these kids are, they don't understand me and stuff like that. But now he's not worried about that. He's able to interact with a lot of friends. He's made a lot of friends, new friends. He's able to form new different sorts of relationships also with elders. Some of the elders, there are elder mentors, but as kids, most of us do not are not able to connect with those possible mentors. Whereas here he is able to, because now he is able to carry on a discussion with someone who's already learned, who's seen various things in life. And he's able to hold a very intelligent discussion without getting into the thought ki, oh, what is he thinking about me, or what am I saying and stuff. It is more about what is happening rather than what is happening behind.
Yeah.
So that changed amazingly.
Lovely. And so, as we had talked about before also, like as all the parents are going through this decision themselves, as they think of their children and how to navigate this journey and what's best for their children, what next for their children, anything you want to share, like advice, suggestion, insights from your,
advice, I cannot advise. I think the only suggestion that I could give, what has worked for me, as I said earlier, do not have any expectations from your kids. If there are so many different courses that these amazing folks are offering, ranging from language to math to engineering to design to forensics and whatnot. Some of your courses are like, wow, you guys get to do this. But do not expect them to be sudden experts or have a very in-depth knowledge about that particular subject that they have chosen.
Yeah,
it is more about the whole experience and what they gain out of it as people rather than as students of that particular subject.
Yeah.
So the subject, of course, it does impact. The choice of subject will be important. It should be a subject that they would connect to, at least initially. Now Aditya has been to 3 programs and he's going to be there in the 4th. And we have tried to rather he himself, it was his decision what program to choose. When we were sitting together and deciding what courses to choose, we decided to explore different categories rather than just focusing on one particular path, because this is not technically an academic course. यहाँ से कोई ऐसे कि मैं मैथ का डिग्री लेके नहीं निकलने वाला है, डिजाइन का डिग्री लेके नहीं निकलने वाला है. It is more about how your kid opens up to thinking, to be more creative, to be more confident, to be more interactive with people, to be more collaborative, which is completely important, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
If we want to be so-called successful in any ways or form, unless and until we are able to collaborate with people, especially with people whom we know are better than us, There is many times a tendency of being apprehensive of being around people who are better than us. But the gifted program puts all sorts of amazingly gifted kids together. So every kid understands that I am special, but there are so many other people who are special in their own ways too. And when these people get together, if I get together with these people, I can do amazing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, the basic advice is do not keep too many, fixed expectations that this is exactly what should happen, and you will be pleasantly surprised. That's all I can say.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm just going to quickly check. Vishnu, any questions that you would like to add?
Sorry, Sapna, I'm busy answering the questions on chat.
Yes, I noticed that. Yes, I noticed it's really busy. So yeah, so Mr. Bontra, if you don't mind hanging out a little bit, maybe when we get to Q&A, some parent might have a question. So but thank you so much for sharing so candidly and giving parents sort of an insight into what went on in your brain and what you've been observing over the last 8-9 months or a year with Aditya. Thank you so much.
The food is good. The food is good. So all parents.
Yeah, I think one question I might ask actually is something. I know that, safety and security for parents to send their child away for 3 weeks so far is a big decision. It's huge. I don't know, anything you want to highlight on that?
I was not too apprehensive, especially as I said, I had gone to drop Aditya at the venue the first time. And I found the whole process very nothing was haphazard, nothing was unplanned. I could see that the people, whoever was receiving us, they were prepared to receive us. They were prepared. They knew exactly what to do with each kid. So it was not कि knee jerk कि अच्छा ये बच्चा आ गया अब इसको यहाँ पे भेज दो या फिर ये कर लो. No, everything was sorted out. I had met Eklavya on the first day, and there was some other lady also, and some other team members. So they all knew what exactly was going on. So that was reassuring. The campus itself was reassuring.
Yeah.
And after that, whenever I spoke with Aditya, he used to tell us, give us a glimpse of the routine that is going on. About how they are allowed to do so many things, but at the same time they're not strictly not allowed to do some things.
Yeah.
Which was again reassuring for me as a parent. Ki chalo, he's not just getting out somewhere, or he's not interacting with complete strangers. Manipal being this is for parents who might have heard things about Manipal. Manipal is a huge place. It's a huge campus with a lot of students from all over the world. And there might be some apprehensions somewhere that what if they get in touch with some other people. But I do not think Aditya or any of the other people or any of the other kids during that program and throughout the other programs also, I do not think they have interacted with anybody outside what the organizers had designed. So I think that's fine. That's good enough.
Yeah.
And then they're happy. None of the kids feel tied or constrained. They are happy to be within those rules.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to just quickly go into some of the other details that you talked about, which is, the courses and the options and stuff. And at Q&A, we'll come back to this. Thank you so much once again for sharing so candidly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we heard from, from Mr. Bontra, that just give me a second to share my screen, and so that I'm. Okay. that so yes, as he was sharing and as we heard from him, that it in what ways has it impacted Aditya or his son, and the amount of confidence he's developed, confidence in his abilities, confidence in being able to work with others, in being able to hold a conversation with others, to freely share his ideas, not feel held back by what others and how others might judge him. So in many ways, it's impacted him. Second. So yeah, so in short, what is it that you will experience at the Gifted Summer Program? Kids will be intellectually challenged. So the courses are designed to be advanced, and because they can handle that advanced learning and it accelerates their learning. They will be rigorous, they will be hands-on. Kids will be, even though it is 3 weeks, across the 3 weeks, they get 90 hours of academics, which is much more than what they would get in any particular subject, even in a semester at school. As again, Mr. Bontra said, that staff is extremely talented and extremely caring. All of our mentors are folks, and I'll tell you a little bit more about them, but they are extremely knowledgeable and experienced in their own subjects. They're industry experts in their own subjects, and they specially take that time out to be with our students because they really believe in this. All our staff pays personal attention to the children. They're trained and they know how to support every child and ensure that every child has a fantastic experience. As he said, like friendships, they're the center of this program. Building that community is at the center, and children get to interact with others who are equally talented as them and learn alongside them. And as Mr. Bontra also said, that as Aditya felt, that he was with people who understand him, and it was just a different experience completely. It's extremely joyful outside of the academic or classroom experiences. There's lots of other experiences that we planned for kids, from field trips to other social experiences. The facilities, once again, as he said, they're outstanding. The dorms, the dining, the food, the classroom labs, everything, it is outstanding over there. And so what are the different options we have? We have a gifted summer program in May, that is from 7th to 28th May. We have another gifted program in July, which is from 6th to 27th of July for parents who have vacation, for children who have vacation at that time. And we will be having a gifted online program in May. This is only for students getting to grade 5. So grade 4 going into grade 5. The other two gifted programs are for students like rising 6th graders and above, and they're both in Manipal. All of this information is on the website as well. The types of courses, again, these are some of the courses we have for the summer program in May. But as you can see in the theme column, right, like we have courses under different disciplines. There are STEM courses, which is the science, technology, engineering, math courses. And there are non-STEM courses, writing courses, leadership courses, courses within the social science stream. And there are two different ways to do it. You can either take one course and do it for 3 weeks, as you can see from the first 4 or 5 options on my screen, or you can do 3 different courses over 3 weeks. It depends on your child's interest. It depends on what you want to get out of this. So like Mr. Bontra said, last year, Aditya had done the engineering design via bicycles course, but this year he's doing 3 different courses over the 3 weeks, again, to get a little bit of everything. And as he said, at this age, it's better to expose them to different options to help them sort of, all of them will build certain types of thinking in the child. But there are different, you can either go deeper into one subject, or you can go wider and get a holistic sort of experience through the 3 weeks. Our mentors, as I said, they're from around the world. They're experts in their own fields and in their industries. They are people who were gifted themselves and have made this journey of, gifted, and navigated this journey of gifted themselves. They're very passionate about teaching students and mentoring students. This is just, their backgrounds academically, most of them have a PhD from really renowned universities across the world. They're leaders in their own field professionally. They have pedagogical experience through the teaching experiences that they have over the years. And so they are just absolutely fantastic in the work they do. this is, this is an example, like a sample profile. So Naveen Kabra, who's been a faculty with GenWise, he was he was from IIT Bombay, got a PhD in computer science from Wisconsin-Madison, is the CTO and co-founder of a software company, has written several peer-reviewed articles, has many patents on his name. But he makes sure every year he comes and teaches students at GenWise. Children not only get, it's not just the content, but also the industry experience that he brings that really help children sort of learn the most relevant content in today's day and age. Similar, Sarah is a professor at a university in the US. She has experience teaching at multiple gifted programs, from the Duke TIP program. She has taught at past GenWise programs as well. Again, she not only brings the content expertise and the academic expertise, but also the love and the passion to teach children and talented children across the world. A typical day, it's a very busy day. Children, the experience is, it's more like an unplugged event where they don't have access to devices except half an hour at the night when they call their family, or if they need to, in case they have, in case the course requires them to have an access to a device. But it's very busy. They get about 6 hours of academics, and then they get about 3 hours of extracurricular activities and other social emotional learning experiences. All of the meals, there are multiple meals through the day. We provide 5 different meals almost every 2 hours. Those meals are not only tasty, healthy, but they ensure that your kids are well fed and they're excited to learn at all times. Other details, Mr. Bontra very, he put it really well. But other details, yes, we'll be living at the Mahe dorms, that is the Manipal University dorms. The dorms are gender separated. The entire floors are dedicated to GenWise, so there will not be other Manipal University students or faculty on the floors that we are using. They're fully air-conditioned, twin or triple sharing. They are extremely safe. Mr. Bontra already said enough on that, so I'm not going to repeat all of that. But children are never unaccompanied anywhere. They're never outside our eyesight and earshot. Our staff is extremely talented and very, very well trained and experienced. Meals, I've already shared a little bit. There are options, veg, non-veg. In addition, we will reach out for your child's medical information and dietary information. So if there are certain dietary restrictions, we will ensure that, we work around those. Again, Manipal has some fantastic hospitals over there. We will reach out for medical information, and at the same time, there is enough care available. We are always reachable, to ensure that your child is safe, secure, happy, healthy, and learning and thriving at the program. So I'm going to pause over there. I have said a lot, and you've been listening for almost, more than 45 minutes. I'm going to pause there and open it up for questions. So feel free to raise your hand, unmute, ask a question.
Excuse me.
Sorry. Yes, Chetra. Chetra, you can speak, and then Shantanu, you can ask your question next. Go ahead.
This is Chaitra. I'm calling from Bangalore. My kid is in Greenwood High. She is in 6th grade. So I'm interested in this Manipal program, but there are few questions like, when is the last date to register for this? And
go ahead. Go ahead.
What is the procedure? And these are minimum basic questions. And what is the entire course fee? Then which all the grades will be combined in one batch?
All right.
Kids of equal level are there, then the program will be more effective because it will be absolutely customized for them. So I just want to know that will the higher grade children be clubbed with these batches, or it's only for few levels, like maybe 6th, 7th graders like that?
Yeah. So thank you, Chaitra, for all of your questions. Going backwards and answering them. So kids, the kids will be clubbed according to different grade levels. So the grade 6 and 7, or rising 6th and 7th graders, they will be in one group, which is the junior group, and they will have classes together. The 8th, 9th, 10th graders are in a different group and they have classes together depending on the courses they select. But in terms of extracurricular activities, the children are together. So children choose which activity they want to do. And in those activities, they can be across groups. But often those are, say activities like sports or debates or say quiz, etc. In that actually children benefit from being in these kind of mixed groups where they can learn from each other as well and sort of support each other. And the dates for the program are 14th to 28th May. For registration, my colleagues will be putting a link in the chat, and you just need to go to that place and enter the PAN details, etc. of your child, asset PAN, and we'll be in touch with you to help you register and go ahead. The fees for the junior program are 125,000 for 2 weeks. There is an early bird discount of 10,000, which will end on 28th of February. So while registrations can happen even now.
125,000.
That's correct.
Okay. For 3 weeks.
For 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah. For the juniors, that is your child, who will qualify for the junior program. It's 2 weeks. That's about the right amount of time that they should be away from home. After that, we believe that the older kids can be away from home for 3 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome, Shantanu, and then Darsh. Ma'am, I can't hear you. You're still not audible. You're not audible.
Hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Ma'am, actually, my kids is Viras Sandeep Shinde. He is this fine operated child, as I'm telling your team also. So please contact me as the personally I can share all the things to you. And Manipal, is it a residential program for the 5th grade? He is going to be on the 5th grade. Now he is in the 4th class.
No. So for fifth grade, there will be an online program, not a residential program. They're still young. So we don't do residential for that age. They're young to be away from their parents for that long. There will be an online program. The details will be announced early March.
Ma'am, but he is very excited to attend your
next year. Yes, next year we'll be happy to have him.
Actually, please tell him, ma'am.
Hello. Yes. Hi, Shantanu. We are very excited to have you. This year we're going to do online, and then next year we're going to see you in person in Manipal, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, lovely. Darsh.
Yes, ma'am. Please tell your assistants to contact me. Okay, ma'am.
Yes, absolutely. You're not audible either.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, now I can hear you.
I am Darsh's father, and I am ex-alumni of Manipal, so I definitely vouch for Manipal's facility and everything.
Thank you so much for that testimonial.
Yeah, thank you. Now, I have a question, and my son has applied for UC Berkeley ATDP, and we have received the reply that they are not associated with asset, which I have shared on the group and sent the email to Vishnuji. So I would like to have a reply on that and what can be done since the dates are coming, and seats are limited there.
Darsh, I've responded to you and I've seen your email, Darsh. So basically, I've met this ATDP Berkeley some years ago, and they used to give special weightage to the ATS scores. So I'm a little surprised. So, but I don't know the latest. So I've seen your mail, and I think in a couple of days you should get a response.
Right. Secondly, we have parallelly also applied for Northwestern, and they have acknowledged this asset scores, but would like to know more on two things: that how these scores would be given to them, and secondly about the scholarship, since they offer a scholarship. So those two things I would like to discuss and understand more.
Sure.
Go ahead, Vishnu. No, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so Northwestern CTD offers both residential programs at their campus which is near Chicago. So typically June, July, August, those programs are there. So you can apply for those. They also have some online courses. Some of these online courses are asynchronous, where you don't have a live instructor, and some of them have a live instructor. So you can go to their program page and check. And for scholarships, we don't have any control on their scholarship, how they give, what they give. But you can try applying, and in case you do not get responses to your questions from them, let us know and we can also follow up.
Yeah. What about this ATS course to be verified by them? So what documents we should forward them? The only
So what you do is that you've got that ATS result sheet, you send that to them, because that will be that should be enough.
Okay. And in the case of Berkeley, they are asking for verification from the school and the teachers and all those things are there. They are not having any this ATS score verification in the list.
Okay, so I don't know if they have changed their procedure, because earlier they were giving special weightage to the ATS scores. So on that, as I said, we will investigate and we'll help you with that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Vishnu. Ketki and then Shweta.
Yeah, hi, this is Ketki.
Hi.
Yeah, so my son also studies in Greenwood High. So it was nice to know that some other parent is also there. Firstly, I think as you told her, that it is a 2-week program for grade 6, right?
That's correct. Yes.
And the fees is 25K.
No, 1,25,000.
1,25,000 and 10,000 is the early bird discount.
That's correct.
And for 2 weeks also the fees is 1,25,000.
That's correct. It includes their stay, it includes the food, it includes the academic, it includes all of that, except of course the travel cost.
Okay, and also after the program, I just wanted to know that what kind of takeaway they have, in the sense, something like what they did good or that kind of assessment or anything.
Yeah, so we don't do exams in the way that schools do exams. However, all children get a certificate at the end, and they get a appreciation letter and feedback from their instructor. So on the last day, which is the 26th of May, there will be an open house where all parents are invited, and children will sort of put up a display of their learning. So what they've learned through the different courses over the 2 weeks and how they want to demonstrate that. Children, get into groups and they decide, and the facilitators help them. And so we invite all parents to come engage in that, come look at your child's sort of exhibition and what they're talking about, listen to them, your children, the other children as well. And additionally, instructors will share appreciation. So, what they thought were the strengths of the child and what stood out, what the child should continue sort of embodying as their traits, and maybe what are 1 or 2 areas that they can improve on.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Shweta?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
So, my son Shreyas, he has qualified. So, I just want to know about this MIT program. So, is it, will it be conducted in Bangalore also? So, we stay in Bangalore. We are from Bangalore.
Sorry, MIT means which one? The Manipal one?
Yeah, Manipal one.
Yeah, so that will be conducted in Manipal, which is, near Udupi.
Yeah, that's okay. So actually he is thinking to attend residential because this is his first time. So he is asking for the option. Is there any option that, okay, morning we will drop and after the course is complete the day, in the evening, can we pick him up?
No, unfortunately, it is residential, so it's not a day scholar program. And, it's completely understandable where the child is coming from, or, of course, it's, if you're doing it the first time, there is some amount of anxiety. But trust me that after the first 2, 3, 4 days, they'll be settled. They will not want to come back home. They'll be having so much fun. They are so busy through the day. And, so the day scholar option kind of takes away the experience from them, the experience of living with everyone, the experience of, eating together, of roommates and all the joy. So yeah, that option is not, that we don't recommend that option and don't have that option either. Vishnu, you want to add something?
No. How old is the student? How old is the child?
Now he is in 8th grade. He will be going to 9th.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Then I think he can come. Then I think he can
waiting.
definitely come.
Yeah.
Okay.
But actually, so means we will be in Bangalore and he will be there, no? So that's why he is thinking.
No
If
problem.
it
No
is in the
problem.
same city, so maybe he would
So
have.
Shweta, you have to decide whether you have a bigger problem or your child has a bigger problem.
No. We
So
are ready.
I can tell you that the child typically stops calling you.
Okay. And the room means it will be shared, right?
That's correct. Yes,
Okay.
it will be 2 or 3 students in a room, twin or triple sharing.
Okay, since he is in 8th grade, so the fees is 1,77,000 rupees.
Yes, and there's an early bird discount till the end of the month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, Sapna. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you for the
Shweta.
details. Just we will be in touch with you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Sriram?
This is Dr. Sri. I'm Sriram's father.
Okay.
Thanks for the whole 9 years of inputs that you provided about Manipal's education. Yes, we will explore. We'll surely just see how best we can enroll Sriram into. He is into 5th standard at the moment. He'll be going into 6th next year. So I'm looking to sometime in what time? May 2023, and that's when I'm looking to enroll him. But I'm also more keen on some of the US universities like Purdue, which is really cool, as well as I think John Hopkins or University of California. So would you guys be the liaison talking to them and making sure we are enrolled, or we are on a road in terms of liaising with them and getting things?
So largely you do it on your own, but if there are places where you get stuck or you're not hearing back from them or something, or you want us to just help you out, think through something, we're always available to, as Vishnu also spoke to Darsh earlier, that he's applied, but doesn't seem, there are some discrepancies in that. So we're, wherever we have relationships.
Like my question is more rooted on that, right? I think he had some sort of a disconnect. You guys say that the person is eligible, but the university is claiming the other way.
Correct.
So if it's a more of an interactions between us and the university, and as a third party or a governing body, if we can really just mediate, or for all we know, if the university is not really accommodating or entertaining, that's okay, right? If that is what is changed. But we want to still see that we can take your assistance in making sure there is an inroad onto these universities from the US, right? I think that's what I'm looking. Because I'll be vacationing sometime next year for about 3 months in the US, and I don't mind going across the places. But yeah, if you can help us, that'll be really great, instead of we directly liaising with them.
Vishnu, do you want to add something?
Yeah. So you will need to apply to them directly because we don't really have a process where you apply through us. So we have visited all these programs, I think, except Johns Hopkins CTY visited all these programs. And as far as that, ATDP Berkeley confusion, yes, I think people are getting back after the pandemic. There's a lot of chaos. For example, Johns Hopkins CTY cancelled 22 of their programs last year, right? And people had already boarded the flights and so on. So I think people are still settling back from the pandemic. There is chaos. Duke PIP closed their programs. So we are in this transitionary phase, but if there are difficulties, we'll help you. And what we also do is, for example, Northwestern CTD, we are getting them to do some synchronous online courses, which are convenient to India time. So we'll be publishing details of that also in the next month or so. But yes, as of now, I think the process is not so tight that, as a customer, I would say the same thing, right? So I apply here and everything should happen automatically. I think Srikanth, my colleague, is working on that, but I think it will be 1.5 years before some of this happens, because these are very large universities. There's a lot of bureaucratic procedures. So
that's precisely the reason I'm asking that question. But yeah, we don't mind being the interface to them, right, directly. But since the whole thing came to you, right? It's an amalgamation of all such listing from your side. So you are largely into only promoting Manipal's education. Is that the way that?
So let me just explain. So we are the Gifted India network, where there are actually 4 founding members. So there is educational initiatives. You have taken the asset talent search test, and Shrikant and I used to work for them for a long time. We are GenWise on this call whom we are talking. So we run gifted programs in India. So EI, GenWise, Northwestern University Center for Talent Development, and an NGO called Agastya. So we have formed the Gifted India Network, and other people are also there. Like now, Johns Hopkins CTY is getting in. So what we are trying to do is, apart from these programs, we are also doing advocacy, creating awareness about gifted programs. So the particular relationship with ASSET, so the EI Talent Search actually has the partnership with Johns Hopkins CTY and Northwestern CTD. So They are the ones, but because we have interacted so much with them, we help as much as possible with the liaison. Yeah.
Understood. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And we're a little bit over time, so we're going to stop here. But thank you so much for joining and for listening and for asking your questions. We will share the recording a little bit later, either by tomorrow some point. There were some details in the chat. We'll also send out the links that may be relevant in the email. If you have questions, if you need help thinking through something, please feel free to reach out to us. The details were shared in the chat as well. And we'll continue, as I said at the beginning, we'll continue to have this dialogue over the next few Sundays because, 1 hour is just not enough for this conversation. So please we'll continue sending the emails and continue joining as you think makes sense.